Nintendo's 2021 E3 show is now multiple months behind us, and honestly I still can't believe some of the stuff they showed. 2D Metroid coming back? Advance Wars coming back? Jesus, Nintendo, at this rate is my wife coming back? No matter what kind of Nintendo fan you are, there was almost certainly something in this presentation for you to put right near the top of your hype list. Now, for my most anticipated game of the show to be this, the kind of Nintendo fan I am must smell f***ing disgusting. Mario Party Superstars, also known as Mario Party We're Sorry We've Been Ass, is a compilation game featuring 100 of the series' best minigames, this time without IBS, as well as 5 boards from the N64 era. Oh hell yes! We haven't had a Mario Party that didn't give me either depression or bed bugs in 14 years, but with them reusing the content from the people who actually knew what they were doing alongside some of the newer minigames and online, this is shaping up to potentially be the best Mario Party of all time. Wait, go back for a second. Are you... I can't believe these people. They're actually at it again. They think if they just close their eyes and cover their ears, it's like you never existed. My friends, do you remember Koopa Kid? When I ask that question, a lot of you less cultured folk may be saying to your screen, yeah Wade, I have played Super Mario Sunshine, and if you said that, I'm a bit disappointed in your lack of cartoon turtle knowledge. We're not talking ordinary run-of-the-mill Bowser Jr. here, we're talking about Koopa Kid. A full 4 years before Bowser introduced his actual son, this little devil showed up to wreak havoc in the first Mario Party, and to this day, he's never escaped that series. That's fine though, I may want him in Smash Bros as much as the next guy, but sometimes a character just doesn't really have much of a reason to exist outside of their very specific role. And that is where the problem comes in. Discounting one borderline exception that I'll get to in a little bit, Koopa Kid's last appearance was Mario Party 7 from 2005. I get not having a reason for him to show up in the next Mario Kart, but he always served his role in this series just fine, so why get rid of him to make me an alcoholic? It's funny too, because at the time it seemed like things were looking up for the little guy. In the first game, he was purely a henchman going by the name Baby Bowser, just screwing with you on the Eternal Starboard. Then in Mario Party 2, he got upgraded to the Anti-Toad, taking over the spot where the little mushroom top just was and stealing your coins when you pass him. In 3, it goes even further, now he's running his own item shop. In 4, he's just straight up taken over the Bowser spaces, finally with the correct name, and it all culminates in Mario Party 5 and Mario Party 6, where he becomes a full-fledged playable character. I couldn't be this proud of my own child. He's shown up in Mario Party Advance to cause a ruckus in some of the mini-games and such, but we can ignore that because it's Mario Party Advance. Getting ignored is its whole shtick. And finally, of course, in 7, he starts only hanging out on Koopa Kid spaces, which is fine. I mean, you can't freak out over every affront against God. But then, just like that, he went from playable to a space to gone forever, just like my wife. And that brings us pretty neatly back to the big problem with Mario Party the Top 100. Until Superstars, this was a Mario Party game unlike any other, with 100 minigames from across the entire series and just absolutely no restraint in being really f***ing bad. But it does have the final battle from Mario Party 4, which means it's got Koopa Kid. So let's see that beautiful Bowser Jr.? Now show Archer Rival again. Mario Party 2, Koopa Kid. Mario Party Superstars, Bowser friggin' Jr. Koopa Kid is technically in the top 100, but only in the box art gallery. This is where this gets actually psycho. Like, they are not content just leaving him in the basement to occasionally be called back to. They are actively trying to erase him from history. And if you want to know why, welcome to the club. The closest thing I can find in regards to a statement from Nintendo about the lad is from a forum post back in December of 2011. Supposedly this person emailed Yasuyuki Oyagi, a producer on Mario Kart 7, in order to ask why Waluigi wasn't in that game, as well as why Koopa Kid disappeared. I've tried this strategy too, but for some reason they never respond to mine. Considering Mario Kart is the game that Oyagi actually had a hand in, the majority of his response is about that, but check out the last 3 sentences. Also, regarding Wario as an unlockable character for future games, that will not happen. This was a one-time instance to pay tribute to the SNES original and nothing more. Koopa Kid is retired. End of letter. If we operate under the assumption that this is in fact real, Can you even come up with a more ominous way to end that? He could have just as easily said something cheeky like, "It seems that in recent years, Bowser Jr. has been taking over a lot of his roles. I wonder where he wandered off to," and instead, he dropped something that makes it sound like my boy was found dead in a Vegas hotel. And because that's all the official info we have to go off of, I guess we have to resort to speculation. The first idea is the go-to. They think it's just pointless to have Bowser Jr., 7 Koopalings, and unnamed Bowser henchmen. This is also probably the most understandable because it could potentially get confusing, but I'm still not into that. I mean, I grew up in this reality and it only gave me an uncomfortable obsession with one of them. The second option is that it has to do with Hudson Soft, the original Mario Party developers, and this one can go a couple ways. Is it because of a legal issue, or is it some sort of respect thing? Honestly, I wouldn't bet on either. If Rare can create Diddy Kong and have him be Nintendo's, then there is a 0% chance that Konami now owns Koopa Kid, and Konami didn't even merge with Hudson until 2012, so no. And the respect option I refuse to believe purely because it would just be too stupid for my brain to handle. They didn't use him in 8 or DS, so now we can't ever again? What kind of sense does that make? Did Hudson tell Nintendo to stop using him? Why in the world would they do that? And if any of these were the case, why wouldn't they just say one instead of, "By the way, don't check in that vat of acid over there"? Really, I find that the worst part of all of this is that I have to close the discussion out without a single answer. We truly just do not know what happened to him. Honestly, it's possible we never will, and I can't describe how legitimately sad that makes me. The love and respect I have for this forgotten, neglected character is, by most metrics, probably a little much, but I just can't help it, man. He was one of my favorite Mario characters as a kid, and his story since then has been so weird and fascinating. I grabbed the Mario Party 5 manual just to read what it has to say about him, and all I found was if you turn this over, either Bowser or Bowser Jr. will appear. He can't even get respect in the f***ing manual. I guess I gotta buy the goddamn Prima if I want to get my daily dose of Koopa Kid lore. First appearance, depending on whom you ask, Super Mario World or Super Mario Sunshine. The f*** do you mean depending on whom you ask? His debut is not up for interpretation. And why are both of the options wrong? Koopa Kid might just be the most battered character in the history of Nintendo, and that is why today I beg of you, please do not forget Koopa Kid. Please do not let Nintendo pretend to forget Koopa Kid. If we all work together, we can keep him alive, and maybe if we're lucky, even get him back officially someday. He just doesn't deserve to be thrown aside like this. Bring him home. And don't even get me started on Green Bowser.